So the WNBA media still to this day are refusing to give Caitlyn Clark necessarily the credit that she deserves for what she's done herself. They are continuing to give credit to other people, other things, and making it giving every other reason for why Caitlyn Clark filled out the arena other than people wanted to watch her play. They made sure as hell that they will give every other reason imaginable except for, she was just exciting. But anyway, before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 40k by the end of the year, and we've just lost a subscriber today. So if we could even gain one subscriber back, it's going to be close. It is going to be really close. We're probably not on track to hitting it, but I don't know. I think we can do it by Christmas. If we can get to 40k by Christmas, that would be insane. But anyway, let's take a listen. So this is the Fumble Podcast. Most question, why can't Drew move the needle like Caitlyn? And this isn't talking about her game necessarily. I'll make another video on that. Monica McNutt, some of the stuff they've said. But they will ignore every single record she broke. And listen, let's take a listen to this.
Fumble of the week, but I'm going to try not to let it be.
Okay.
Last college women's basketball season, Samaria, Caitlyn Clark had the sport by the throat. Iowa women's basketball was must-see TV, and if they were in a town, it was packed out in that arena, okay? The fan investment into Caitlyn followed her to the WNBA, and viewership numbers for her games were sky high.
I've never seen people question why there are fans. It's literally like saying, oh, all of these fans were watching. I don't know. I think Duke sell out their men's games anyway. But let's just say a hypothetical, being oh, the Miami Heat sold out every single game in South Beach when LeBron James was there. Why the next season when Wade was injured, Bosh had blood clots, and LeBron wasn't there? Why are we not selling out anymore? Why are people not wanting to watch Dion Waiters go 0 for 30 instead of 0 for 9? Because that would mean he'd lost confidence. Nobody has ever questioned why people are fans of people ever in sports before, and they won't shut up about it with Caitlyn Clark.
Her mere presence alone helped several teams break attendance records, and in some instances, teams chose to actually move games to larger venues to accommodate the fanfare of Caitlyn coming to town. Coming into this season, the biggest name in women's college basketball is
Paige Beckers.
Unquestionably Juju Watkins.
It's Paige Beckers.
The star from USC is the front runner for Player of the Year, and her team is on
The front runner for Player of the Year? She's shooting 17% from 3 and 40% from the field, and UFC have looked bad. The front runner for Player of the Year right now is, at this point, have Rutgers lost yet? I'm not joking right now. The front runner for Player of the Year, if Rutgers are still... Actually, no, she's slowed down the last couple of games. It's probably not Destiny Adams anymore. Actually, you know what? If Rutgers are still winning, are they? Rutgers not. They've lost their last 2 games. So Destiny Adams has gone out of Player of the Year conversations, but she's 3rd in the nation in points and 3rd in rebounds. Player of the Year right now, I'm not joking when I say this. First, is probably Lauren Betts. Second, your one from Harvard might be second. Oh, what's her name? She said she's going to the draft. Oh, I can't remember her name. But she's absolutely balling. You've then got Paige Beckers, who has been better than Juju Watkins. And who else has there been? Hannah Hidalgo. Hannah Hidalgo, no question about it, ahead of Juju Watkins. You've got Flau'jae, who's ahead of Juju Watkins. Harmony Turner from Harvard. Juju Watkins is a flat-out scorer who's 9th in the nation on scoring on terrible efficiency. How is she the front runner for Player of the Year? I wouldn't put her in the top 10.
Very short list of programs with a legitimate shot to win a title.
South Carolina have no shot to win a title. What are you talking about? They've got no chance. Absolutely no chance. They literally, let's watch Juju Watkins shoot the ball badly. That's literally the thing. And by the way, Juju Watkins has unlimited potential, but she's not one of the 5 best players in college basketball this season. She's not being one of the best 5 players.
Juju's game is absolutely cold. Currently, she's averaging 21, 7, and 5. And I mean no intent to sexualize her at all when I say this, but she is also drop dead gorgeous.
What difference does that make? I'm sorry. Like, what difference does that make? Like, are you trying to say that because you believe Juju Watkins better looking than Caitlyn Clark, she should have the fanfare of Caitlyn Clark? Like, is that the context that you're making this argument in? Because, like, what are we talking about? Like if that was the case, then surely college basketball after Stanford won a championship in 2021 would have just been following Cameron Brink around.
But none of
the Cavander sisters would be in the damn W right now.
That has translated into the kind of excitement and fan investment that Caitlyn had just a season ago.
Obviously, if you just watch the two of them play, Juju's nice, by the way, but Juju's whole thing is like footwork and post game, and she can do a bit of everything. We all know why you watch Caitlyn Clark. She would do something mad every single possession.
So listen up. In a Trojan home game in Juju's hometown of LA, a city with 4 million people, in an arena with 10,000 capacity, only 3,000 people showed up.
She's not a needle mover. Caitlyn Clark was filling up crowds in her freshman year. She was selling out away crowds by her sophomore year. Juju's not a needle mover. She's really damn good. She's really good, and I mean that. She's really good. Juju Watkins is not an exciting player to watch, but she's really good at basketball.
Iowa's preseason games last year had more fans than that.
50,000.
Now, granted, I recognize that it is very early in the season, and their last two opponents were mid-majors.
Doesn't matter. Literally, Caitlyn Clark could... If Caitlyn Clark literally said, I'm gonna do a workout, if she just said, we're gonna go to Gamefield, whatever the Indiana Stadium's called, and goes, I'm gonna do a shooting workout, it would fill out. Like...
But it doesn't feel like the world and mainstream media has embraced her quite like it did Caitlyn.
What do you mean mainstream media? Mainstream media embraced... I'm not joking. Mainstream media have embraced Juju Watkins, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, every single person except Caitlyn Clark. Realistically, they're doing everything they can to belittle Caitlyn Clark. What are we talking about here? Do you want to know why Caitlyn Clark, and I mean this, do you want to know why Caitlyn Clark, and there's something else in this that I want to show, the next person.
For one, you got to remember that Caitlyn Iowa went pretty far both years.
Yes, that's a big thing, that she literally dragged the team. She dragged the team of 3 stars to the NCAA championship. Yes, that's huge.
That she had this stardom. So obviously she lost to LSU in the championship game, and then she came back the next year, and it was just crazy. It
was crazy before the LSU game. That's what people all try to forget. Do we not remember the reason why the LSU game was the most viewed women's basketball game at that time was because everyone wanted to watch Caitlyn Clark. Like, everyone watched Caitlyn Clark dismantle Louisville in the Elite Eight, and then so many people thought, oh, it's Caitlyn Clark by herself, which it basically was, against a South Carolina team that looked unbeatable, and Caitlyn Clark basically by herself beat them. That's what people were watching.
Also had an antagonist, right?
Okay. What does Angel Reese have to do with this? By the way, this is when the Caitlyn Clark fandom started. When this was the clip that was this was what was shared by the Barstool Bros, and this is why I think they have such a big problem with Caitlyn, is that the mainstream media, the WNBA media, were late to Caitlyn Clark. They were late to Caitlyn Clark. What they were was they were still hyping up Paige, they were hyping up Aaliyah Boston, they were hyping up all of these people. But they the Barstool Bros, the Dave Portnoys of the world, they were hyping the hell out of Caitlyn Clark. Why? Because she can do this.
She has been magnificent.
By the way, this is 4:55 to go in the fourth quarter. One logo 3. They're down 12. One logo 3. 66-78. 3:16. A minute and a half later. Pulls from 2 feet inside the 3-point line. Like, what are we doing?
But watch right here. Hey, Kevin Durant.
She starts picking up a dribble at the 3-point line, the halfway line. Bang. That's 3 minutes to go. A minute later here, she's being full court press, dribble, sidestep, double, triple team, step back through the circle, bang. It's a 6-point game now. This was a game that looked like it was over, and now suddenly it's a 6-point game with 1:39 to go. Like, that is why people watch Caitlyn Clark. And that was the real viral 2022. Like, as a freshman, If you will find so many posts from 2021 being like, Caitlyn Clark is the most exciting player to watch in college. Why won't people shut up about Paige? Why are people like forcing Paige into this stuff? Caitlyn Clark is better. You will find posts like these from 2021. But people ignored her. The problem is, a lot of the people that ignored Caitlyn Clark are the people that are still ignoring Caitlyn Clark. They want to be right. All those people hyping up Paige Beckers, hyping up this, they want to be right. And the reality of this situation is they still refuse to admit Caitlyn Clark is just more exciting to watch. Simple as that. Even if you believe Paige is better than Caitlyn Clark, even if you believe Juju is going to be better than Caitlyn Clark, and by the way, the Juju is going to be better than Caitlyn Clark, those arguments are purely based on potential because there's nothing Juju has done so far in her college career that's better than what Caitlyn Clark did up to this point. It's not. She averaged more points. She took way more shots. And I mean it, way, way more shots than Caitlyn Clark did to get to that point. She's, like, as good as she is, she's Carmelo Anthony. She's Carmelo Anthony. Caitlyn Clark is a mixture between Magic Johnson, Tyrese Halliburton, and Stephen Curry. Juju Watkins is Carmelo Anthony with a worse jump shot. Like, that's, if we want to make comparisons, that's the reality situation. Juju is elite. And again, I've always said this. If the WNBA media want to go out there and push somebody, to be the like star, they would be doing everything they can in the media to get Mylasia Fulwiley out of South Carolina. Because that is the only chance. The only chance of a draw, of someone being enough of a draw to take anything away from Caitlyn Clark, is Mylasia Fulwiley. Paige Beckers is elite, and I get it. She's a draw. She's going to be a draw as a rookie. If Paige Beckers can go back to the Paige Beckers of high school, then yes, okay, we have an actual comparison there. Because the freedom and flair she played with at high school got coached out of her by Gina Auriemma. Mylasia Fulwiley is very similar. The problem is that it could very well be coached out of her by Dawn Staley, who's trying to coach it out of her. Dawn Staley trying to ruin Mylasia Fulwiley. Gina Auriemma, I'm not going to say ruined Paige Beckers because she became more efficient, but she ruined the Paige Beckers being a draw. Like, he ruined the Paige Beckers that would have been able to compete ratings-wise and draw for draw-wise with Caitlyn Clark. The reality is that every one of these games, nobody's watching Angel Reese play. To be fair, people watch Angel Reese play Asia. No one's watching Angel Reese play Fee Collier. That game has no viewers. But people watch Angel Reese play Caitlyn Clark. Nobody's watching Aja Wilson play Alyssa Thomas for a game. But people watch them play Caitlyn Clark. What is the... People are like, oh, people are watching for these players too. Yeah, they're rivals. People are watching Caitlyn Clark and are more interested in watching Caitlyn Clark because of who she's playing. It's not the opposite way around. Like, none of these players are draws without Caitlyn Clark. But I can guarantee you, if Caitlyn Clark plays Juju, it's going to be a sellout. And in fairness, when Juju plays Paige, it's going to be a sellout. But if Caitlyn played Juju in a game in college last year, it would have sold out, and it would have been crazy. Not because of Juju, because if Juju plays against a normal team, it's not. Caitlyn Clark could literally show up to somewhere. She plays golf. She sells out golf tournaments in a different sport. Like, just because she's so exciting to watch. Kids love her because it's like squeaky clean. And I mean this, like, her reputation is off the court is squeaky clean. As far as like being the most family-friendly superstar ever, it might be her. Like, you're only ever really seeing her publicly at sporting events or doing charity work. That's literally it. Off the court, she's either at sporting events or doing charity work. It's the only time you ever see Caitlyn Clark. So yeah, you can see why she has all the fandom. You can see why she's one of the most exciting players to watch. Parents that are fans of the sport, like, even non-basketball fans watch Caitlyn Clark. That's the difference. That's the Steph Curry effect. That's the Caitlyn Clark effect. LeBron couldn't do it. Kobe, I'm not going to say Kobe couldn't do it. Jordan could do it. Jordan was able to do it. Steph Curry was able to do it. And now Caitlyn Clark's able to do it. And in other sports, in tennis, Nadal, Federer, I don't think Djokovic couldn't do it. Nadal could do it. Federer could do it. In America, Serena could do it. And that's realistically it. As far as tennis in the modern era of people that could force non-tennis fans to watch tennis. Tiger was able to do it in golf. Nobody since Tiger's been able to do it. Simone Biles can do it in gymnastics. nobody in American football outside America has this kind of like draw. But Caitlyn Clark has such an exciting way of playing. She has the ability of bringing people into the game as fans. And yes, there are people that will come to the game as fans of everybody, fans of anybody. So you can say, oh, look at this one kid for injuries, but nobody can do it like this, just like with Steph Curry. Trae Young wasn't able to replicate what Steph Curry did, even though as much as he tried. What Caitlyn Clark is able to do is a once-in-a-generation thing. And to say that, like, she's a once-in-a-generation player, it's probably true. To say she's going to be the best player of this generation, I don't know. Like, I think it's very likely, but you never know. With Paige, Juju, you never know. To say that they have no chance of being better than her is wrong. I think that there is a possibility one of those two ends up being better than her in the WNBA. Do I think it's likely? No, but it's possible. But the reality is that neither of them are the draw that Caitlyn Clark is. Neither of them play with that type of flair. Mylasia Fulwiley does, but it's being coached out of her. There's going to be players that come along like that, but we can't just pretend that the only reason people watch Caitlyn Clark was because of Angel Reese, when the reality is the opposite. The only reason people knew of Angel Reese. Angel Reese had some viral clips, and she was big on social media, but the only reason people watch Angel Reese play basketball is because of Caitlyn Clark. Like, if Caitlyn Clark was only popular because of Angel Reese, then we wouldn't be seeing Caitlyn Clark break every single record. We wouldn't be seeing Caitlyn Clark pack out houses when they play anybody. But what do I know? I'm just a guy on the internet that talks.